Coronavirus, COVID-19, whatever you want to call it. How do we tackle such a topic?
vidIQ.
vidIQ.
vidIQ.com.
As much as anything else, I want this video to be a conversation between you and I. So, as a YouTube creator, or as a viewer on the platform, or in general, what does coronavirus mean to you right now? Let us know in the comments below. Let me first of all say that this is a very fluid news story, and what I say right now may not be relevant or accurate in a day or a week. And second of all, personally, I think this is the biggest global news story to hit in this new digital media age. And it is one that is impacting billions of lives, and it's affecting businesses, and ultimately people are dying. And so we have to take this topic very seriously. So from one creator to another, if you are going to post videos on the coronavirus, please do it responsibly. In the last 24 hours, we've learned that all of the major North American sports, NBA, NHL, MLS, have postponed their seasons to prevent large gatherings of people. Schools are closing everywhere. Shops are closing. Essentially, in the real physical world, authorities all over the globe are cautioning their citizens against social interaction. And as a result, technology, the internet, the connected digital world is going to be tested like it never has been before. One such solution that many people are going to experience for the first time is doing your job from home. Remote working. Funnily enough, vidIQ is an entirely remote work-based company. We don't have an office, but we have employees all around the world who do their jobs from their home offices. And if there's nothing to do outside the four walls of your own house, people naturally are going to gravitate towards the internet for entertainment. And that includes video. But that comes with an incredible amount of responsibility, especially on a platform such as YouTube, where creators are sharing their information with an audience. YouTube have already had numerous controversies that have helped prime them for such a thing that no one expected, but are now currently in the middle of. So, YouTube, coronavirus, creator, viewer. How does this all work? Well, let's start with this question that I do not want to ask, but YouTube must answer. As a creator, how can I get more views and more subscribers and grow my channel from coronavirus? As I said earlier, in my opinion, I think this is the largest global event of the digital media age. And unavoidably, this creates opportunity. How quickly a word can become the center of the universe. Coronavirus didn't even register as a search term at the beginning of 2020. Today, it's seemingly the only thing that's searched for. Stick the word in YouTube and vidIQ's own research tools will tell you that it has massive search volume, but content to support that keyword hasn't yet quite caught up. Demand outstrips supply, and when that happens, those who have supply capitalize. Now, forgive me for a second, but I want you to cast your mind back to a much simpler time where the stakes were a lot less important, but the concept was still the same. PewDiePie versus T-Series was a channel on YouTube at the time that saw that that was going to become the biggest YouTube news story of the year, and they set up a live stream following the subscriber counts, and that channel benefited with hundreds of millions of views and 2.5 million subscribers. It's probably not going to surprise you, but there are channels out there who are applying exactly the same formula to the coronavirus. As I search for the term on YouTube and filter by live streams only, there is one channel called Roy Lab Stats that begun a live stream on the coronavirus at the end of January, when the concern and the keyword was at a fraction of the size it is today. Right now, there are over 40,000 people watching the numbers, the stats, and the graphs trend upwards. This channel had less than 1,000 subscribers at the end of January. It's now growing at a rate of over 5,000 subscribers a day. From purely an objective point of view, this is YouTube at its finest. A creator has discovered a topic that was going to trend in the future and created content before anyone else. They've pitched it well with SEO, and now a mass audience is desperate for information on this keyword, and they are all flocking to this video that provides a lot of what they need. But morally, ethically, is this the right thing to do? As I said, this is an open conversation. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. On top of all of this, YouTube is a search engine, and a very good one at that. It's always trying to predict what you are searching for and then serving up the content that you want to watch. As you well know, when you type words into the YouTube search bar, it will autocomplete with predicted searches. Today, if you type in how to, the top search result is how to make hand sanitizer, along with other coronavirus related searches. In this sense, YouTube is a self-fulfilling prophecy. If you are worried about coronavirus, it's in YouTube's search and discovery nature to tell you about it. And once again, YouTube will reward those who seize this trending topic. A channel with just 500 subscribers posts a video before most other channels on a topic and is rewarded with 150,000 views. So it's fair to say that currently coronavirus is a huge searchable topic on YouTube, with channels of all sizes benefiting from it, whether rightly or wrongly. And you could argue at this point that we've looked at fairly safe styles of delivery, a factual live stream and an educational video on how to prevent you catching coronavirus. But what about when the lines get a little blurred? The YouTube trending tab has always been a source of controversy, especially for creators who believe that it doesn't reflect what's really trending on the platform and instead favours certain channels. Chief among those, North American late night talk shows. The Late Show with Stephen Colbert is one such channel, and a recent clip from his show has found its way onto the trending page of YouTube. The clip itself is a collection of news stories, obviously delivered in a comedic way, and coronavirus takes up no more than 30 seconds of a 5-minute video. But the decision was made by the YouTube channel manager to include coronavirus both in the title and the video description of this content. They wanted people to find this because of the coronavirus mention. I think at this stage, most people will take this content at face value as a light-hearted piece of fun. But at the other end of the spectrum, there are people who are being seriously affected by coronavirus. I don't know, hashtag too soon? Again, open conversation. Comments below. Now, one thing that should happen at the slightest mention of coronavirus in a video is that YouTube will display info cards and panels relevant to your location that push you to trusted information. And this video is a test in itself of that process. Can you see anything? This is one of the many measures YouTube are taking to try and stay on the right side of this topic, as they mention in a recent creator blog post. What they also say is that they are raising up authoritative sources in search and recommendations and showing information panels on relevant videos. Now, when I used vidIQ's most viewed tool, which gives you an unfiltered account of videos with the most views over a certain period of time, again, the majority of the content about coronavirus seems to be coming from those American late night talk show hosts. This isn't necessarily a measure of what YouTube is recommending most to viewers, but it does seem to be a useful insight into the psyche of the average YouTube user right now. In these times of great uncertainty, they still want to be entertained. Now, for those creators who are finding, I don't want to say success, more traction on their channel because of coronavirus content, does that mean they are actually going to profit from it? Well, in this case, I think YouTube have definitely taken the right approach, and that is no. YouTube already has in place comprehensive advertiser guidelines that state what type of content may have limited ads or no ads at all, and the coronavirus clearly falls into one of these categories, a global health crisis. So if your intention as a creator is to tackle the coronavirus topic head on, like we have in this video, you wouldn't expect to monetize your content, and that would be fair, right? Well, hang on. Remember this tutorial video from earlier on that was all about making homemade hand sanitizer? It's clearly been made with the coronavirus in mind, but it's not exclusively about the coronavirus. And it's not the first how to make hand sanitizer video on YouTube. Almost 4 years ago, the What's Up Mums channel posted a DIY hand sanitizer video, and for years that video has trundled along at less than 50 views per hour. But now, in the wake of the coronavirus outbreak, the video is getting over 1,200 views per hour. And in recent weeks, there are people commenting on how they've arrived at this video. It is clear that this video has gained traction recently from the coronavirus outbreak, but it is missing any YouTube information about the coronavirus. However, if we visit the other recent video that includes the keyword in the title, there you will find coronavirus info cards from YouTube. Now, as of time of recording, the What's Up Mom DIY hand sanitizer video from 4 years ago does still have ads on it. The other channel is too small to be even in the YouTube partner program, so we can't be sure whether this video would be monetized, but I would suspect not, since the creator blog does go on to state that YouTube currently does not allow monetization if a video includes more than a passing mention of the coronavirus. Essentially, there are two videos here which would benefit the viewer in pretty much the same way, creating DIY hand sanitizer. But because one of them is pitched directly to this coronavirus topic, does that mean that this leads to one of these on your videos, which could ultimately lead to this? Now that does seem a little too simplistic, but I would love to be able to get a video to a certain number of views using coronavirus in the title and the description, and then switching out that metadata to something else, and then trying to figure out whether the video was monetizable or not. Anyway, all of this is going to be a moot point very soon because YouTube do recognize that there may be a need to adjust their policies on this. The creator blog goes on to say that it's becoming clear this issue is now an ongoing and important part of everyday conversation, and we want to make sure news organizations and creators can continue producing quality videos in a sustainable way. In the days ahead, we will enable ads for content discussing the coronavirus on a limited number of channels, including creators who accurately self-certify and a range of news partners. Again, I think this is a huge conversational piece that I'd love you to chime in on. YouTube already have policies in place that they say if there is a global health crisis and you create content on that topic, we are going to limit or show no ads on that content. But if that global health crisis goes on for 6 weeks and may go on for 6 months to a year, then yeah, actually, we think you may have permission to monetize your content as long as we trust you as creators. That, again, is putting a lot of responsibility both on YouTube and creators to do the right thing. Now, again, YouTube are already well prepared for self-certification as they already have mechanisms in place. You will have all seen the FTC copper made for kids requirements crop up on your channel, but what you may not yet have seen are the ad-friendly self-certification screens that YouTube have been trialing for over a year now. Presumably, YouTube are adapting these self-certifications for coronavirus content, and we'll know more in the coming weeks. Clearly, there is a lot to talk about, and by no means are we or YouTube done with this topic. I see this as a starting point for a conversation about how the coronavirus is impacting YouTube, especially creators just like you, and I want you to help us guide this conversation. Share your thoughts, stories, and experiences, and that will likely lead us onto the future videos, whether they be ones where I'm reading out your comments or we do a live stream. Anything is on the table right now. It's our job to educate you and for all of us to support everyone in this very challenging time. See you soon.